low near 32. And tomorrow we'll see sunny skies. It will be windy, though, with the high around 48. Meteorologist Kyle Klecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
One great idea can change your life.
ABC Fridays. Shark Tank is all new with guest shark Todd Graves, founder of Raising Cane's.
I love that entrepreneurial drive, and I live it every day.
Emmy-winning Shark Tank, Fridays 8, 7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the best place in Lincoln for a casual get-together, best place to watch a game, and the best for pre- and post-game. Catch college and NFL football as well as the volleyball action this season at Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. What's better than wings, cold beer, and a Husker win? Enjoy great food and drink specials every day and tons of TVs to catch all the action. Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
Hey, it's Chad with Nutrition Authority inviting you to stop in and check out the #1 selling complete post-workout product, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out, exercises, or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today, try a free sample, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? That feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios on O Street.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, this deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116. When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome into the Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. You guys can join in 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Heyman text line. Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo, channel 961. You got Allo Cable. Those are all great ways to put a face to the voice. But we got plenty of things to talk about tonight. We'll talk some NFL, some college football, and if we got time for it, maybe even some Husker basketball. The first thing of news that came out today, I want your thoughts to Marty Pierson-El. The New York Jets have now fired their GM as well. Joe Douglas fired. Even though the Jets can't hire a new GM in the middle of the season, so they're just gonna be sitting there without a GM. I don't know if that makes Rodgers the GM, but thoughts on that?
I mean, I thought he would have got fired before the head coach.
Yeah, I don't know. It just tells me one thing that we knew already, that organization is in absolute disarray.
Yeah. What are you going to do? I mean, the owner of the team has to take a hard look at, moving things in a different direction, with some stuff. But, I mean, why right now? I don't get it. I've been on the same tick. Things were moving differently. They played well actually this past weekend. Just came up short. So it's unfortunate, but I thought he would have got the boot before the head coach did.
Yeah, and apparently Rodgers likes Douglas too. So this wasn't. I know everyone's going to say this is GM Rodgers. This is actually seems like top down. They said screw what Rodgers actually wants in this situation. Sounds like Rodgers probably isn't going to be a Jet next year, though. I mean, that's what I'm reading out of all of this.
I mean, you can say that. You don't know. You get rid of him, you're pretty much, right back at the bottom.
They're at the bottom now, though. I mean, you stay at the bottom.
I mean, you literally blowing up the whole thing. At least next year, let's just say, you drafted a quarterback this year. Similar situation in Green Bay. I'm not sure how long Rodgers' contract is with the Jets. I don't know if it was a 1 year or 2 year. But, at least you get one more year. Devontae Adams still there, at least give them a solid year to kind of build something. You got a rookie quarterback that can sit and learn a year and then, decide what you want to do the following year after that. I don't think it's the best thing to get rid of Rodgers because the offense is starting to climb. It's that organization necessarily hasn't been good for a while. So all of that just doesn't get blamed on A-Rod.
Yeah, and he's not going to be a free agent until 2026. I don't know. It just feels like a new GM, probably going to get a new coach. Feels like if he's part of the plans, I'd be surprised. It wouldn't be the craziest thing. It depends what the Jets have for quarterbacks on the table and how bad this season continues to go for him.
Where are they at in the draft? In the draft to necessarily get you, one of the top three quarterbacks. Maybe not the first, but you might be in a run for the second or third if you're at least in the top 8.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. We're gonna keep talking some football here. Anything I'll have to add on the Jets situation? That's the biggest news so far. Really out of the NFL. Joe Douglas fired, no longer the GM. That's pretty much all I got on the Jets, though.
That's it. Nothing, pretty much.
Yeah, that's all right. It's just it's unfortunate if you're a Jets fan. Just absolutely unfortunate. With that being said, we'll move on to college football because I just don't see the situation getting any better for the Jets. They might win a few games here, but like I said, that speaks volume just about disarray and how nothing's gone according to plan for them. Over to college football, let's take a look at the AP rankings, and then we'll look at what this means for the playoffs. Keep in mind, one of the group of 5 schools right now, likely Boise State will get one of those bids for the 12-team college football playoffs. But looking at it at number 6, 1 through 5 stayed stagnant. So you got Oregon 11-0 at 1, Ohio State 9-1 at 2, Texas 9-1 at 3, Penn State 9-1 at 4, Indiana still at number 5, 10-0. Notre Dame did move up 2 spots. Looking for the big movers. I won't go through this entire thing. Alabama's somehow back at number 7. They're going to be in this damn thing, I bet. Georgia is at 8-2, is all the way at 8. Ole Miss at 8-2 is all the way at number 9. Tennessee at 8-2 slid down 4 spots.
That's still gonna be a mix up because some of those teams still have to play each other. I think Bama's not out of the woods yet.
Well, a lot of conference championship games is what a lot of this is probably going to boil down to. So with the SEC in particular, I think the Big Ten's pretty well safe as long as they don't wet the bed on the way out the door here. Even if they lose the conference championship game, or between Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, like one of those schools isn't going to get selected, so they'll be fine. But the SEC, yeah, they're one of them's going to knock each other out here, maybe even a couple.
Yeah, it's Alabama still. I feel like on the outside looking in.
I think so too.
I'm looking at who they have left. Maybe not. They got Oklahoma, and then they got Auburn. I mean, I know Auburn, the Iron Ball. You never really know. So I mean, they might huddle around that 5 to 7 range actually. Georgia, depending on who's in the SEC championship as well. Georgia has UMass and Georgia Tech. I mean, they should be pretty safe. I don't think Georgia Tech will really give them a run for their money. Tennessee, that has UTEP and Vanderbilt. What's up with all these last two? Out of these last 2 games, they're cakewalks. Like
that's the SEC way.
Like that's not even. So you got this is, and then Texas has Kentucky and A&M the last 2 games. Ooh,
that's interesting.
That A&M and Kentucky, I don't think those are cakewalks. A&M is at 15, which is crazy. You still got BYU in front of them, SMU in front of them. You're giving. Even Boise, but you're gonna have to not, give the favor to the SEC. But A&M's schedule, strength of schedule, knocks out a few of these teams.
Yeah, and Boise State will grab that power or group of 5 spot anyways.
Let's just put them at 12.
Basically.
Ole Miss has Florida and Mississippi State left. Like that's not. You could see 4 SEC teams in there.
Yeah, that's gonna be. You're probably right. Oh man, do you really?
I mean, they got 5 right now in the top, and it's
Texas, right? Obviously, I don't see a way for them not to make it
for sure.
Do Alabama and Georgia both make it, and then I guess Ole Miss?
The part that's confusing is who do you send to the SEC championship? Because there's no East and West now, and it's like that on all conferences. I've seen something where Oregon has already got an invitation to it, and I'm just like, all right, like respectfully, I understand, I get that, and everything like that. You could have waited one more week, for things. Who gets necessarily the second, because you got a lot of teams. You got Penn State right there. You got Ohio State right there. So probably Ohio State and Oregon for the Big Ten championship. I'm assuming is how it would go. Those 2 teams will
not. Think it should be Indiana, Oregon, though. I mean, the undefeated teams.
I forgot about Indiana.
I
don't understand how Indiana is not ranked ahead of Ohio State and they're undefeated.
Because it's favoritism, right? I mean, that's how you get all these SEC teams with 2 losses still in the mix for it. I mean, you put them in the Big Ten, if it's in Iowa with 2 losses and Illinois with 2 losses, they're not sitting in there. It's that bias for sure. some of it's valid bias, and some of it's like, I don't know what Indiana has to do, though. They're beating teams by 30 points.
I think positions 6 to 11 are up for grab. Necessarily one of those spots, because you got a few teams here that can potentially take a loss. You got the conference champion and the runner-up are definitely going to be in the playoffs. So I think that's 1 through 5 at least. 6, you could say Notre Dame, but again, you have no conference title. I feel like that hurts you. I don't care how good you played and everything like that. You're kind of isolated. So I don't got them at 6 at all. I don't like them at 6. And who have they really played? And you lost to NIU.
I was gonna say they lost to Northern Illinois too, which is like, if that's Indiana, they're ripped out of the top. They'll throw them all the way down in the late.
They'll be at 18 to 20 to 23.
15 to 25, anywhere between there, just to get them out of it. That's what bothers me. Notre Dame, they did bounce back, and that was just a off game for them. But again, it's just the whole respect thing.
Who has Notre Dame really played?
No one
at all. I mean, it's the same thing.
And now they get to play Army, undefeated Army, which is actually going to help them out because it's a ranked opponent, even though Army moved down a couple of spots for beating.
You got Miami of Ohio, Louisville, Stanford, Georgia Tech. You got Navy, Florida State, Virginia, Army, and SC. SC ain't the same.
That's a horrible schedule.
And that's just halfway through. You got blasted. I don't know. They beat A&M. So I mean,
that's a valid win.
I don't. And I know it's not necessarily going to be consistent, but you're grading the SEC by strength of schedule. Like, why not apply that, 1, to everybody, 2, you not even in a conference. So I think that put them at 11, 12, if that.
Yeah. I have no idea how they're going to put these teams in these playoffs. I'm really curious. I'm seeing some of the write-ups because we're getting closer and closer. I think tomorrow they'll put an actual official model of what they got looking like heading into it. Like today's for the AP poll, the official AP poll. And then tomorrow, I believe, is when you get the next updated playoff bracket. But just looking at what ESPN has, and you just tell me how this one rings for you. So these are the bye spots, right? You get 4 teams in the quarterfinals. One of those is going to be the group of 5. So you got Boise State at 4, Oregon at 1, Miami at 3, Texas at 2. I read those in a weird order. But those are your 4 teams: Oregon, Miami, Texas, and Boise State. And then that first round, I'm not going to list these in order, but they do get 4 SEC teams in this ESPN model that they're just projecting. And those SEC teams, like I said, Texas is 1. And then you do get Ole Miss. They got Georgia and they got Alabama. And the other teams, they got BYU, Notre Dame. They do got them in there. Penn State and Indiana. So they do have Indiana in there. Miami having a bye at 3, though, is very.
I mean, they're conference champions. So regardless of what you want to say,
yeah,
they had one little hiccup loss late a few weeks ago, but I mean they've been dominant. That was probably that you can say, I wouldn't say their worst game because they've had 2 games where they had to fight back and last second win. So but I mean, you respect Miami. Their defense has been humming. Their offense has been humming. They have a quarterback that's arguably in a Heisman candidate race that potentially could be the first quarterback off the board. Some people have him over Shedeur. Some people have Shedeur over him. So you got a top 2 quarterback in his position. Dealing with that, I'm not mad at Miami. With one of the 4 spots.
Well, and to your point, too, that's for the ACC. That's going to be the best representation.
I don't understand how. Well, then again, so you just overlook, the Big 12.
Completely. They really completely do in this. This is ESPN's model, but they are.
I don't. I mean, you got I think two teams. Is BYU in
Yeah,
they're in the
they're
Big
in
12,
this
right?
one. Yeah. And they got BYU sneaking in at that very last spot at 12.
That's so weird. That is so weird.
I know it still takes time to get used to all this stuff.
That is so weird. That'd be an interesting game. I'm anxious. I'm anxious to see what 3-loss team they're gonna have in there, if any.
It's gonna be Georgia or Bama, right?
It would have to be.
Yeah, I mean,
because
Texas is in the SEC, so like I mean, who's going to be in the SEC championship game?
I think Texas' bid is already closed. I don't think there's no way that they don't.
Yeah, they'll be in it. They should be in it too.
I think Texas is the for sure route, and then it's a grab. But I would say Ole Miss is the next best team in the SEC.
Let's see here. I'm looking at it. If we look at the SEC right now, so you would get a. I mean, most likely, man, the SEC is nuts this year. I mean, you take your pick. It's whatever they look at it. Best overall record or conference record. I mean, you can pick Georgia, Texas. It's not going to be A&M, I don't think.
No.
But Bama. I mean, who's going to be in that conference championship game versus Texas, most likely?
What is Ole Miss conference record?
They're 4-2 conference. Georgia is 6-2 conference. A&M is 5-1 conference. A&M and Texas are the only two teams in the SEC with one conference loss. And A&M is also 8-2. They got 2 losses on the season, so they could make an argument if they win out. But only one conference.
You would have to win out, and you would need Alabama. You would need Alabama to lose at Auburn. You would need Georgia to drop one more. That's tough. With them being
what if it's Texas and Texas A&M, which should just be just such a that'd be such a crazy SEC conference.
In Dallas too.
Yeah, so you get the 2 Texas schools, but Texas A&M takes the loss, and despite going to the SEC conference championship game, takes on that 3rd loss, gets booted out of the college football playoffs. Georgia and Bama both make it because they don't have to suffer that loss, even though they don't go to the conference championship game.
No, I don't think because Georgia, if A&M does go and win out and Georgia loses, they still would have 3 losses, but you're the second, you're the runner up in the conference. I think you would have to get a bid even if it's the last spot. Your runner up, you're telling me your 3rd and 4th team is a better team than your runner up of the conference, and they had a gauntlet? Like, that's not that would be, some they paying the right people to get Alabama and Georgia in that thing.
that's what I think is going to happen though. DPE as 402.
So then what happens if A&M blows out Texas in the SEC championship? Then it's really messed up.
Then they're having a serious conversation with the refs about that game. No, I'm not sure. Then it's real chaos. Then, man, you like Texas is in it. A&M's got to be in it. Then you do got to cut off Georgia or Bama, and you're probably cutting off Bama.
If A&M wins out a dominant win, I think they should be the second team to go in there. I don't think
you think it's possible though that they blow out Texas?
They play Texas?
I'm assuming that's what the SEC Conference Championship is going to be. A&M and Texas.
A&M sneaky. Like they've been rolling. They're a tough opponent. That would be a good matchup because A&M's offense is coming together with the quarterback. He's mobile with his legs. He's a threat. He's just a winner. Their defense has been stepping up a lot better, but you would have to stop Texas offense, and that's not an easy task.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like when they play good offenses, they give up points. Like, and this is recency bias, but South Carolina has been playing really good football down the stretch here. But in that last game, because, of course, they get New Mexico State the game after, and they beat them 38-3. But they lost to South Carolina 44-20. They did beat LSU the week before that, though, 38-23. And just seeing how they handle against high-power offenses. Notre Dame, they actually played okay. They gave up 23. They lost it, though, 23-13. They lost to Oklahoma. Oh, that was last season. Excuse me. It seems like when they go up against a good offense, though, they are pretty susceptible to giving up points. They really haven't played a ton of great offenses, though.
These next 2 weeks it's gonna be hard for the SEC. I don't want Georgia or Bama, honestly, to be in there for us. If one of them, fine and dandy, but you find a way to get both of them in there, that's cheating. That it's like, come on now. And then like they're gonna spread them all out. Like they're not gonna pin them together to cancel each other out. You know they wanted to get it back to the SEC. We'll see how it's go, but I'm rooting for A&M probably to honestly to get in there. I think they have really shown outside of Trev. I'm not a huge fan, of that situation, so I'm not cheering for them or whatnot. But they've weathered their storm and they've played really, really well this season.
Yeah, and Trev isn't the reason. I mean, they were building it before him. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I mean, 2 weeks. This is the part of college football, and it's funny that we're talking about the playoffs, and we go from 14 playoffs thinking, now that we got 12, this should be an easier conversation. If the SEC, didn't have the season they were having, it'd be easier, but you got all these 2 lost teams in the SEC that all were ranked to start the year, and that's the other problem of the AP polls. Like, they put themselves, let me throw this out here. Should they just get rid of the freaking AP poll until midway through the season and then put the first official one out that you base things off of? Because it's such a joke that we have preseason AP poll and that decides everything. And then you have to either fight and claw your way up to the top or just hang on for dear life. And even if you're not playing great football, if you're winning games, you're just going to sit up there because you're not dropping them.
No, I don't think so. It's one of those kind of traditions that you don't want to get away from. 2, when the official one comes out and whatnot, like you're pretty much established and people understand, like, who you are. You might have a few picks where you're like, I don't see this or that or anything like
USC,
that.
Florida.
But you could have the Indianas that come up out of nowhere and still get, respect. Now, it might not be where it should be at and everything like that, but they've consistently, risen to the occasion week in and week out. So, and that's, nothing to what the AP poll is or whatnot. So, I mean, the real one doesn't come out till week 8, week 9 anyway. So I don't think that influences the actual one because they typically do a pretty good job of understanding, who are, the pretty, contender top teams.
Yeah. And you know what? People like it's never going to go away because it's a talking piece and people love seeing it come out every week.
For sure.
There's definitely that part of it. I just think we get too gridlocked on it. When I say we, I mean me. Like being in media, looking at these damn AP polls, like it's frustrating to look at. But to your point, the real official one actually is indeed not until way later in the season, about week 8. But that being said, we'll throw it to break. We'll talk some more college football, dive into Husker football. Dana Holgorsen not holding back on what he sees with Husker football.
Finally.
It's kind of a breath of fresh air. And we'll talk about that. I'll save it for that. We'll talk about Husker football, Dana Holgorsen, his comments. Don't go anywhere. Don't Punt Hour with the host of Morning Pierson-El.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
And electrical. Tanner's Bar and Grill is the best place in Lincoln for a casual get-together, best place to watch a game, and the best for pre- and post-game. Catch college and NFL football as well as the volleyball action this season at Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. What's better than wings, cold beer, and a Husker win? Enjoy great food and drink specials every day and tons of TVs to catch all the action. Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to attend our upcoming Parts and Service Expo events. It's the best time to buy parts and schedule inspections all year. Take advantage of specials through December 13th with additional savings the day of your local expo. Find savings on oil and filters, gifts for under the tree, and pre-ordered John Deere parts. Visit with our trained and certified technicians and sign up for our winter service specials. Visit landmarkimp.com for a complete schedule and experience the Landmark difference.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. Hurry, this deal ends soon. See Home Club for details.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years. My doctor recommended that I get annual lung cancer screening. They were able to catch my cancer at stage 1. It's never too late to quit. Even if you're still smoking, you need to ask your doctor about annual lung cancer screening. Just 30 minutes a year could save your life.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Chad with Nutrition Authority inviting you to stop in and check out the #1 selling complete post-workout product, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out, exercises, or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today, try a free sample, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. 402-464-5685. You guys can join in on the Starter Heyman text line because we got plenty of thick weeknights left here at 1040 O Street. Kyle Perry, a couple of Husker bowlers, plenty left here before we wrap things up. Switching up, Husker football. Dana Holgerson's comments, the new offensive coordinator for Nebraska football. DeMornay Pierson-El, I'll just give you the quote, the soundbite of the day that went around, and a lot of people were pleased by it. Quote, "Why are you not blocking worth the crap on the perimeter? It's embarrassing." And talking about the wide receiver blocking out there on the edges. Wasn't mincing words. He had media availability today and was pretty blunt just on the problems he saw with Nebraska football. Even mentioned there's a young guy that isn't being utilized that he will expect to see probably versus Wisconsin. Curious to who you think that player might be, but your thoughts on Holgerson and the media availability we had with him today?
It's refreshing that things have been beaten around the bush or attention elsewhere, and I get it. You got friends on there. You're not trying to point the blame or whatnot. As you can clearly see, he doesn't care. He's calling a spade, and that's probably honestly more so what you need to see is somebody saying it out loud and not saying it behind closed doors and whatnot. I mean, he's just being honest. It's an honest opinion about stuff, and you're a straight shooter. You're gonna know what you're gonna get from him if he likes something, if he doesn't like something. So it's gonna be an interesting spring, I can tell you that.
Yeah, well, and it's just that part where it's like that felt like it was an obvious thing all year long. It's like, man, our blocking on the edges isn't very good. Even before Holgerson was here, you heard Satterfield it was Matt Rule talk about that being one of the weaknesses is blocking on the edge. And it's a bummer because you look at the receivers we got, that was considered one of the strengths heading into the season was like, we got some really big bodied wide receivers. This is going to be great for the run game, and you look at the touchdown versus USC, it wasn't a design play, but it's a check down to Emmett Johnson. And when the receivers blocked, ran it in for the end zone. Like there's so many times like that where, it's going to kill you for explosive plays if they don't want to block the corner. And if they get that far, pick up the safety. I think that's another reason why we just haven't had explosive plays is even if the front, the offensive line does their job, second level is just coming downhill untouched over and over and over. So I will say though, USC was a lot better. And based on what Dana Holgerson said today at that press conference, that was most likely a big point of emphasis.
I couldn't agree more. I didn't catch all of what he said and everything like that, but my phone was definitely blowing up. It was like, oh, is he wrong for that? I'm like, no, like that's what you want.
Yeah,
honest coach. And it's like I said, it's something to build on. He's going to be blunt and straight to it. And, with him saying, if you're not blocking, you're not going to get the rock. Heard that before in that room and everything like that. So, again, different motivation to get the kids, into acting right. And if not, so be it.
Yeah. And it's like one of those things like you can't be scared to pull a kid if he's not doing what's right just because he's got some NIL money. It's like, if he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, like you're just going to end up getting fired because he's not going to block or he's not going to run the routes hard. And I'm not saying this is any particular guy with Banks, Nayor. I'm not saying that they have attitude issues, but clearly coaching wise, like that was just getting looked over and wasn't being focused on enough. Whether they're letting him do it, whether they just thought it looked good in practice, and when the lights came in on game day, they just weren't there. But it's getting addressed, and now there is at least some sort of accountability because the coach just told the whole damn press that like it was
first,
a problem.
First day out. First,
yeah.
Just not playing around, not beating around the bush. I like it. Like I said, and that right there, like the kid, the athletes will see that and be like, okay, I can't play around. Like I got to be on mine.
Yeah, and if you're one of the wide receivers who hasn't gotten much time, you're like, man, if I pancake a few kids today at practice, they might look at me a little more. No, that's and like it's one of the things with your group, with especially a lot of the teams before you, especially when you get to that Tom Osborne day, like that was a staple. Like, you know how much those wide receivers worked just to barely touch the damn ball? Insane. Like Osborne era. Oh my, like that's got to be the most selfless wide receiver core that college football's ever seen. Like more so because not only was it, it's not like Army where you're going there, you know what the system is. You're going to Nebraska. You might know they like to run the ball and that's their bread and butter, but it's also just a blue blood and the best school out there. So you're getting 5-star wide receivers, the fastest guys, and what they do more than anything else was block. And they did a great job at it. I mean, that's why those teams are so successful. DeMorney, what does it take to be a good blocker at the wide receiver position?
Mentality.
Is that all it is?
I mean, of course, technique and everything like that, but mentality is a piece of it. Right along with execution, understanding, gauging. Okay, if you know what the run is, being in position to make sure that he can't, jip you and attack one way and then bounce out if the run is bouncing outside or knife in and everything like that. Just an understanding of where your angle's at and whatnot, and having the ability to put your hands on somebody and make sure he doesn't make the play.
Yeah, and it's that part too. It's like with especially for how big those wide receivers are. Like I'm not expecting them to go out there and just be the best blockers out there. Like, but you can do enough to get in the way. Like half the time, especially on a lot of those outside runs, is like you said, like you're just trying to get rid of the angle, and you don't necessarily have to have it just a clean block where you got that guy locked up the entire way. But if he's got to at least like work around you or bounce out around the edge that he doesn't want to go, by the time that happens, if the offense did what it's supposed to do, the back, the wide receiver, the screen, whoever was meant to go that way, they're gone. Like, so stuff like that where it feels very fixable. And that's kind of been the theme all year long, especially here in November, and why fans are frustrated because all this stuff is very fixable. Like in USC, you saw some of that stuff get fixed and you saw a much better product.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an entirely new offense. I mean, there was changes for sure.
Yes.
But it was small things.
Early on, it was like I said, and that's, the question of what you said, like how important will these bowl games be? If, once we get this 6th win, I think it'll be way better because they can understand the culture, have more time to kind of be out there and allow himself to kind of evaluate kids before spring and whatnot. And he can generate ideas. He can go back to the drawing board and understand, what he might want to do, next year with the offense of maybe, mixing up both offenses, not just completely moving away from something and everything like that. So it's definitely going to be important, I think, on both sides because, like I said, that gives the kids an opportunity to kind of, rev things up and show what next year can be like. Also, that gives an opportunity of the coaches to see things and understand how he wants things to be set up going forward.
Yeah. And there's 2 games left. Well, that's what I want to talk about next. This Wisconsin and Iowa game, but I want to read this one off YouTube first because this is a great mindset. And I hope it's the mindset that they have for these next 2 games of wide receivers. It is because you got Wisconsin and Iowa, 2 very physical teams that if you're going to go out there and be soft on blocking, you're not going to be effective at all. Those 2 teams, I know Phil Longo just got canned, but that's not talking about the defensive side of the ball. The defense will still be good. You need to block him. This one from Lane off YouTube. I played wide receiver for a team that ran the ball a lot. I called myself the fullback on the outside. Just a mentality I had because I knew if I did that, I would eventually get rewarded for it. And that's it. Like if you block hard enough on the edges and you start running the ball down teams' throats, it's going to be a lot easier to get open. And when they do decide to dial it up, like you're going to have a really good chance of catching your guy off guard. So it's a total trade-off thing. Fullback on the outside. I like it. Hopefully we got that heading into the next 2 weeks. Speaking of Wisconsin first, and we'll talk about Iowa on the 3rd segment. So Phil Longo, OC, fired.
Mm-hmm.
So weird looking at Wisconsin, Nebraska, 2 teams, second-year head coaches, Luke Fickell, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Matt Rule. OCs are both fired, though, in year 2. Both fired very late into the year. A lot of parity. They played close last year. This one, though, is at home. How you feeling about Wisconsin? I don't think this team's going to give up, and I'll keep saying that.
I'm feeling good, honestly. This is another week with a new offensive coordinator. What they showed in the game, like I said, you've seen the changes. You've seen little things or medium things and some big things or whatnot. Continue to add to that. People are frustrated. You got somebody new. Excuse me. You have somebody new that's expecting a different level of play out of you. So it's not, oh, I'm comfortable and I know this and everything like that. Like, no, for some of these kids coming back, this is the guy that, first impression of, now he's really looking at you and, okay, you might not be out there if you're not doing certain things right and whatnot. And he don't care, as you can see. So I think that's going to light a fire that should have been lit under, the kids and everything like that, to make sure that their assignments are situated there in the right place and whatnot, to make the plays and everything like that. With being home, it's a crucial game. Wisconsin has had its troublesomes just like us throughout the whole year. It's a very winnable game. Defense, we need you to show up as best as you can, because their offense honestly is horrible. I don't care who's calling. Their situation is probably worse than ours, because you got a guy who only has a week, and outside of the bye week and whatnot. I'm cool with how we make adjustment to things and everything like that. I'm not too concerned about that. The chips are lining up, like everything, finally is looking like stuff should be situated. Another week of the offensive being consistent and everything like that. I think definitely things will be a lot more consistently rolling and whatnot. And we play better at home.
We do. And this, to me, this is the one where, like, it's senior day. The guys that came back, like, you got to want this more than the fan base come Saturday. Like, I'm so tired of, and this is totally, me saying this. I'm not the one putting in the blood, sweat, and tears, but I'm also not the one collecting the NIL checks. But we can't be in a place where the fans feel like they want it more. Like, go out there. It's senior day. Go have a day. Like, talking like Ty and Nash, like a lot of those veterans on the defensive side of the ball, Bullock, like, go be absolute animals against an offense that sucked all year.
Yeah.
Like, take advantage of it. And then for the offense, just continue to be confident. You look at that offensive line.
They're going to have to make plays.
Day, make plays. Yeah.
I mean, they're going to have that's what it keeps coming down to, over and over again. If you look at the tape in a lot of games, people on the outside didn't necessarily make plays. People, offensive line necessarily didn't make plays, and everything like that. We're that day, the offense is going to have to continuously to make plays. That's what it's going to take to beat Wisconsin, because they're not going to back down. It's going to be one of those brawl Big Ten fights type situations. It's going to be close. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's sore. You're gonna have to necessarily make something happen with the little space that you have, the little time that you have, the little opportunities that you get. You got to make it happen.
Yeah, and who knows? This might be, especially if the receivers get better at blocking. Again, I will give them credit for USC. I thought they did a much better job. If that continues to be better, the one other thing that Holgerson said today as we wrap up the second segment that was interesting, he was impressed by the offensive line. He's like, the pad level's low and they're driving off the ball. He was like, it's our backs. They got to hit the hole harder. And against USC, some of it too, I will say, is play calling, right? You got to give your backs a chance to let them catch rhythm. And you saw a lot more calling for a run on first down, but you saw that looked better too. Like, the running backs looked a little more explosive than they did. Really, you have to go back to probably Purdue, like all the way back that far, where you find like explosive games from the running back room. So just another thing, like, even if we got to run the ball, it was good to hear Dana was actually complimentary of the offensive line. I know that's been a punching bag, sometimes right, sometimes wrong for the fan base. But Holgerson backed them up and actually said the backs need to hit the holes harder. Hopefully we see a solid run game as well versus Wisconsin, because to your point, it might be just kind of a grinded out battle on who ends up with the ball last. If you can run the ball, time of possession, and score on top of it, that's a good recipe for winning. We'll throw it to our final break here. On the other side, talk about Iowa, the last game of the season. they got some quarterback problems. Don't go anywhere. Don't punt hour with Good Morning Pierson-El.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. Hurry, this deal ends soon. See Home Club for details.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the best place in Lincoln for a casual get-together, best place to watch a game, and the best for pre- and post-game. Catch college and NFL football as well as the volleyball action this season at Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. What's better than wings, cold beer, and a Husker win? Enjoy great food and drink specials every day and tons of TVs to catch all the action. Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Brown Shoe Fit has a Black Friday deal so good, it's available for 3 days. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit from November 29th through December 1st for 20% off everything store-wide. Brown's has all your favorite brands, plus Lincoln's largest selection of Uggs, which makes the perfect Christmas gift. And speaking of stocking stuffers, buy 3 Smart Wool socks, get 1 free during the extended Black Friday sale from November 29th through December 1st at Brown Shoe Fit, 6060Q in Lincoln.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, wrapping things up. Final segment, Don't Punt Hour with the host, DeMornay Pierson-El. Going to talk about Iowa's unique quarterback situation. Ferentz is also being a little bit cryptic, whether intentionally or unintentionally, or really just doesn't know if they're going to have to go find a third-string quarterback. But it might help in Nebraska's case. So their quarterback, Brendan Sullivan, will be out for the remainder of the season due to an ankle injury that he suffered during UCLA's loss November 8th. But then they had McNamara, who went out because of the concussion, and he thought it was going to be the guy. But now you're having Kirk Ferentz say he's healthy, but he's not quite 100%. He's not there yet. And I'm not sure if he's going to be able to play, but he's healthy. What's going on with Iowa's quarterback room? Is this just
I mean, clearly it's on his last leg. So I mean, he's a smoke screen. He's not showing his hand, but he's showing his hand. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily saying anything. They definitely have, a contingency plan in there. Now, exactly what that is and everything like that, I'm not sure. But you definitely plan for all scenarios and a backup here or whatever. But I mean, they're hurt. They're banged up. So, I mean, you get to the quarterback, I don't expect too much offense to really happen, on that side of the ball for them.
Yeah. And, I'll say this much. If you're Iowa, that's weirdly the one position that actually doesn't hurt you as much. They'd be worse off if their center got hurt. That team, I mean, Deacon Hill got 8 wins with them last year. I'm just being real. That team finds a way to operate. If you can hand the ball off and throw a slant, and occasionally a deep shot, if you got the arm strength, you're good. So I don't know. I was going to ask you, with this news, does this move the needle at all for Nebraska and their odds against Iowa? Because that's my whole point is there's such a unique team that it really, to me, it doesn't seem to ever matter who's playing at, unless it's not an actual 5-star who, if they ever get that, look out for Iowa. But
I think so. I mean, I'm pretty sure people are gonna pick the other way with things or whatnot. But I mean, they play solid defense. We play solid defense. I think our offense is more consistent and healthy than theirs. So we'll see how things are explosive and whatnot. We got an offensive coordinator that's gearing up and not scared and to call things and understands and not overthinking stuff. So they're going to be tested. He said it today in his press conference. He challenged the kids. Well, you got 2 weeks to see what that challenge is going to look like, and 2 very well opportunities to get in there and make something happen, or continue to ride off in the sunset in a better lighting than what we have seen before.
Final question, and we're going to just keep updating the scale as we get closer to it. Now there's 2 games left. I asked you this before USC, how confident you were that we'd win 1 out of the last 3. Now I'll ask it again. How confident are you that we're going to win 1 out of the last 2? 10 confident. Being super confident, 1 being not confident at all.
Confident, super confident.
Okay, I'll put you above 5, above 6. I'm still there too, right? I'm going to drive myself up a wall if we don't find a way to win one of these games. You got a Wisconsin team who just got a new OC. To your point, unlike Nebraska, didn't have a bye week. I mean, it's go. Here's the script. Good luck. And then you got an Iowa team who
don't have a quarterback.
And they don't have a quarterback. And it's still freaking Iowa. They're going to keep the game open for you because they don't score a lot unless we just decide not to show up, which is an unfortunate, a real possibility until this team does it for 5 games in a row, that they show up consistently. That's still a little bit in the back of my head. But I got to say, I know a lot of people lost a lot of hope after that USC game. I don't think this team's going to give up, though. Still got probably 8 or 7. That just get 1. Really just need 1. And I honestly think if they beat Wisconsin, I like my odds against going 2-0 out the door here. But that's going to wrap it up for us. That's enough Kool-Aid to wrap up this show. Uncut, Kyle Perry, walk through the doors now. The former Husker pitcher coming up next. DeMornay Pierson-El, appreciate it as always. We'll do it again tomorrow.
See ya.